cases, as they confront these situations, they need some help. We need to help them recover from the invisible wounds that their work can inflict. These wounds are no different from wounds that I said our military encounters on the battlefield. According to one study, law enforcement officers are 54% more likely to die by suicide than the average American because they're under such enormous pressure and they see things none of us ever see. The vast majority of law enforcement officers tell us that peer support programs are the most helpful mental health resource there is. And that makes sense. If you hold just a second, it makes you, when you think about it, you know, law enforcement as well as the military, all taught to be stand your own. You know, don't ask for anything. You can do it. Just take care of it yourself. And it's an enormous burden we put on people. And it's really difficult. I've learned working so diligently with the military community. It's so hard to get them to say, hey, I need some help. I need some help. I want you to know a wound that is imposed on your mind is no different than if you broke your arm or got shot in the leg. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. It deserves to be treated. And it deserves the respect that goes along with that. Because the strongest support and the best guidance often come from someone who has walked in their shoes. However, many officers don't access peer support because they have concerns about privacy and confidentiality. And only about half the states have confidentiality protections. But this bill, and I want to thank the Congress for this, encourages first responders agencies to adapt peer counseling programs, require the Department of Justice to make the best practices and resources publicly available for people who want to become peer support mentors, and ensure confidentiality to federal law enforcement officers who use peer counseling services, with the only exception being admission of a criminal conduct and/or a threat of serious physical harm. My hope is by giving more effective more officers access to confidentiality and high-quality mental health resources, we're going to reduce the stigma around seeking help and lead to better policing and prevent suicides. Put simply, we'll get more officers the help they need so they can better help their communities they serve. The next bill I'll be signing is the Protect America's First Responders Act. I want to thank Senator Gillibrand, and thank her very much, and Bill, I want to thank you, Pasquale and Brian Fitzpatrick, Joe Courtney, they're all near neighbors where I used to represent, for their leadership in supporting those who are disabled or killed in the service of their community. You know, when our nation's firefighters, disaster relief workers, EMT, law enforcement officers, and other first responders respond to that radio alert, they run toward the danger while others are running away. They know there's a risk of them getting injured or worse. And when they go to work each day, their families wait for that phone call. They're going to get that phone call that something's happened. Public Safety Officers Benefits Program was originally established to provide death benefits to officers who fall in the line of duty so that if, God forbid, their family gets that call, they don't also lose their house, their car, and they're left bereft in terms of economic capacity. It has since been expanded to provide disabilities and education benefits and increases the number of first responders who are eligible, including children born after the fact. It's really important. And, you know, Pat, you and I used to discuss this all the time in judiciary 120 years ago here. But the truth is, you know, with over 1,000 claims a year to review, the program has been slow and inconsistent when it comes to reviewing claims and supporting first responders and families, including those who responded on 9/11. The law has to change, and you're doing that. You're changing the law to do that. And it's going to make sure this program processes claims more quickly and speeds up payments, makes clear the public safety officers who are acting in an emergency situation, no matter the jurisdiction, are covered, and broadly defines what it means to be permanently disabled. Before this law, first responders permanently disabled in the line of duty were only eligible for benefits programs if they could never again perform any of the compensated work that they performed. Now, what you guys and women have changed is you allowed the disabled first responders who can't do the work they have been trained for, but still can perform tasks and take on work that's therapeutic for them, to do these jobs without losing the benefits. At the same time, getting both the pay and the benefit, if it's in a different area. There's a line inscribed in the National Law Enforcement Officer Memorial. You've all seen it many, many times. In valor, there is hope. In valor, there is hope. Well, as one of the leaders of the Federal Law Enforcement Officers Foundation pointed out, this bill restores their sense of valor. And with that comes a lot of hope. The third and final bill I'll sign is named Jaime Zapata and Victor, Avila. I didn't want to mispronounce it. I hope I pronounced it correctly because it's important. Immigration and Customs Enforcement agents who were ambushed by a drug cartel hitman in Mexico in 2011. The assailants tried to pull Agent Zappa from the driver's seat of the vehicle and shooting him 6 times. And Agent Avila, despite having been shot, was able to push Zappa's leg down on the accelerator and escape the attack. Unfortunately, Agent Zappa later died of his wounds. That tragedy was compounded by another tragedy, a miscarriage of justice. The murder convictions against the 2 killers responsible for the murder were overturned on appeal. It was overturned because the law didn't make clear that the Department of Justice can prosecute anyone who kills or attempts to kill a federal law enforcement officer outside the United States. Thankfully, the murderers remain in prison, being convicted of other incidents stemming from that same incident. But this bill is going to protect agents serving abroad and send a message to drug cartels, terrorists, and criminals wherever they operate, that if you attack our agents, you will not escape our justice. I want to thank Senator Coons and Senator Cornyn for that legislation, and Representative Henry Kabar, and Michael McCall, Steve Shabbat, and other leaders for their leadership on this bill. In just a minute, I'll sign these bills, and they're good and important bipartisan bills. But I want to thank the International Association of Chiefs of Police, the Fraternal Order of Police, and the National Organization of Black Law Enforcement Officers and other law enforcement organizations that have been constructive players in negotiating over meaningful police reform. So I'm asking bipartisan leaders here today to come together with them, as you've done before, to finally pass the George Floyd Justice of Policing Act. But that's next. And now I want to sign each of these bills. I want to, God bless you all, and may God protect all our law enforcement officers and first responders throughout the nation. Thank you. I'm going to sign these bills. By the way, there's a tradition, when you sign the bill, you give the signing pen to the authors of the bill. But I don't have that many pens with me. So I'm going to make sure everyone will get a pen. Everyone will get a pen. I'm not trying to hoard the pens, guys. Okay. What's your name? Nice to meet you. How old are you? 7 years old. Weird. You are. What grade are you in? First grade. Oh, that's great, man. Thank you for being here. You okay? Maybe after this I can show you a little more. Shall I see it? Okay. Here we go. All right. Okay. I'm going to amend I'm not going to do that. We got the second group up here? Yeah. sign it. You can take that one. Don't leave quickly, okay? I'll see you after.
Hi. Thank you for doing my bill. I never got to be here.
You did such a good job. You did such a good job. Hey there. Hi, Margaret. How are you doing? I'm good.
You all set?
Yeah.
Hey. Oh, no, you're fine.
Watch that guy behind you.
He's there.
God bless you,
All right,
Mr.
thank you.
President.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
God bless you.
All right, now I'm going to sign the third bill.
Okay.
Oh. Thank you. Okay.
Congratulations. Thank you very much. Thanks for your work.
Title 18 U.S. Code to further protect officers and employees of the United States for federal purposes. Knock her off.
Ladies and gentlemen, please remain in your seats while the president departs. Thank
After I
you.
meet with all the leaders. So thank you all so very, very much.
Thank you. Take care.
Hope you guys can stick a minute for this to say hello. Thanks.